The statement was, Pattaya bar managers and owners are just glorified pimps who exploit women for monetary gain. If you put your bar back in Dublin, where I'm from,
right,
you would be labelled a pimp. The term bar girl, is that just a euphemism for prostitutes? Hey folks, Pete here from Thairish Times. How you doing? What's the story with you? How's it going? So we've interviewed a lot of people on this channel, right? We've interviewed entrepreneurs, one in the tech industry, one in the hospitality industry, both in Thailand. Then we've interviewed a man who spent 36 years in Thailand and told us some fantastic Thailand related stories from Paul Wallace. What an epic series that was. We've interviewed an ex-cop as well, but we've never interviewed anyone in Thailand's entertainment industry, and that's what we're going to do today. Right, so we're going to meet a guy called David from America, and he's a bar in Pattaya. So that's the story. We're going to have a chat with him about his bar, what he's doing there, all that kind of stuff. So do me a favor, if you like this content, please subscribe to the channel. We're on 21,000 subscribers. We're trying to grow this baby. I'd love to get to 25. But we need your help to do it, yeah? I've got lots more interesting people lined up on the channel, ready to be interviewed. We're flat out interviewing people every day pretty much, editing or interviewing. Anyway, like, share, subscribe and comment. I'm very interested to hear what you have to say about this one. All right, let's do it. David.
Pete.
Thank you very much for doing this.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Cheers. So
Cheers.
Tell everybody where you're from.
I am from Chicago, or the suburbs of Chicago.
Okay.
Yes.
And let's go back to your life in Chicago.
Okay.
What was the life like growing up for you?
Good. Family, 2 older sisters, I'm the baby, parents happily married, everything, good life. Had a good job as I grew older. Spent a lot of my time with Domino's Pizza. Worked my way up through Domino's for 9 years, up until where I could franchise. I chose not to franchise with them. I then went to a company. I turned residential garages for parking cars into man caves. I was single at the time, 31 years old. Like I said, good job, house, good group of friends, but I was like, I need a change. So I was, all right, time to make that change.
What was the change?
To move. Sold everything I had. House, everything. Got rid of everything. Planned to move to the Virgin Islands. Then before moving there, decided I'm young, I got some money, I have energy. I'm gonna take a trip to Thailand, and I spent 2 months here. Went back home. The plan was go back home for December, spend the holidays with the family, beginning of the year, off to the Virgin Islands. But instead, I bought a ticket back to Thailand.
And when you got to Thailand, what did you do?
So I came here, and that was a good thing. I was like, what am I going to do? The easiest route, be a teacher. So I moved to Phuket. Right away started the TEFL course to be a certified English teacher here. I did that, and so the plan was to become a teacher. I was able to start teaching kids in China online, and it was good. It started getting real good for me, where I had a full schedule. I was making, especially in America, would have been good money, but here in Thailand, I mean, I was living almost like a king, you know. It was great, and picked my own schedule, took days off when I wanted to, did everything I wanted to, and right when it started getting like real good for me, China said no more. So,
no more online teaching,
yeah,
right?
No more online teaching from foreign Western countries.
So what did you do then? Because your career now is completely different.
Correct.
From teaching English to Chinese students online.
Correct.
What are you doing now?
Right now I own a bar in Pattaya, and I love it. But yeah, so...
All right, tell us about your bar.
Okay, so the bar I opened 3 months ago. I took over the building in November. It's in the heart of Pattaya, on one of the most upcoming streets. The street they now say is the new Soi 6. I think Soi 6 will be there for a while, but it's It's a different style of soy 6. I'm on soy Shayapun, or many people know it as soy pothole. I do have ladies that are salaried, and I have ladies that freelance. So salary ladies, they come daily like a normal job. Freelance ladies, they come and go as they please. And yeah, I took over the building November, built it out, completely gutted out the inside, made it exactly how I wanted it, and we've been open since February 2nd.
What's the name of it?
The Backyard.
The Backyard in Pattaya.
The Backyard in Pattaya.
Okay, very good. So I've done some research before this interview, right, and I've come across a number of comments on YouTube regarding Pattaya bar managers and owners, okay? And I'll read just one comment to you that I saw the other day, and I'll let you answer the question, right? So the statement was, Pattaya bar managers and owners are just glorified pimps who exploit women for monetary gain. And then that got me thinking, right?
Yeah.
If you put your bar back in Dublin, where I'm from,
right,
you would be labelled a pimp. So what do you say to that?
I have to, you know, you take it as people can call you whatever they want to call you. It's really up to them what they want to think I am. I don't look at myself as a pimp. I look at myself as a business owner, and we supply, you know, good services to everybody, regardless of what they think. I mean, I will say one thing: my bar has a little bit of a different feel than some of the other bars in Pattaya. But regardless of the bar in Pattaya, I wouldn't consider them any bar owner to be classified as a pimp. They're a bar owner.
But the argument would be that a man or a woman, well, mostly men, can go in, pay money to a bar owner to take that woman, or in the case of man as well, out of the bar for the pretense of sex.
I would say that's up to them. If they what is happening outside of the bar is once people leave the bar, that's up to them. I mean, you have no clue what they're, when someone comes into your bar, and if the lady chooses to leave early that day, and you have no clue what she's doing with that guy. I mean, yeah, most might think that's going to happen, but it really isn't. It might not be the case all the time. It's just what you judge. I know plenty of guys personally that take a girl from the bar early, and they literally go out to dinner with them, and they bring them back to the bar an hour or 2 hours later. So what they do outside of the bar, that is strictly between them. And at that point, speaking in all of Pattaya, for other bar owners as well, that's completely up to them what those two adults choose to do with their time. So yeah, I mean, some might say that that's what's going to happen. Yeah, I would agree. A lot of times maybe that does happen, but that's up really to the person. And you know, soon that industry might completely change here in Thailand. You know, there's been talks about it, about the sex industry becoming legal here. You know, because right now they are trying to just say, oh, it doesn't happen. Let's be real. You know, it does happen. I don't know about it, but it does happen, and I think one day it will be legal.
What do you say to people who think they have the moral high ground and see your business as unethical?
I think if they really think it's unethical and they've never been to Pattaya, they need to come. Because I think most guys, even how we classify the monger, you know, a guy that would pay for some activity, even guys that aren't mongers that come to Pattaya would have a different view on it from if they actually come and experience it for themselves. I mean, Pattaya gets labeled pretty badly, you know. You get guys like, oh, I'm going to Pattaya, and I'm like, oh, Pattaya, you know. But there's plenty of other places, bars, clubs, that aren't even part of it, part of that industry. And I would say come to Pattaya and experience it for yourself. At least if you're coming to Thailand, you're stopping in Bangkok, you're an hour and a half away. spend a day or two in there, walk around, and see for yourself, because I think they might get a different perspective actually being there.
What do your friends and family back in America think of this business?
They're actually, perfectly okay with it. They questioned me at first, and like I said, to me, this is a business, and I have ladies that come work at my bar, and like I said, what they choose to do outside of the bar, that's up to them. When I went into it, honestly, the first thing my dad said to me was, when I told him I was thinking I was going to do it, was, what kind of numbers can you run? And I'm a numbers guy, he's a numbers guy, that's numbers don't lie. So I like I said, I treat it as, some guys treat it as their dream. They've lived their careers before. They come to Pattaya, they retire, they start a bar because that was like their dream to have a place like that. For me, I treat it different. I treat it as a total business, and I look at my numbers daily. I run numbers daily, and so I don't look at it any different than running an actual business or running a bar in America.
So what are your numbers?
Well, I'll tell you, in 3 months I've been profitable. Some numbers I can tell you are like alcohol costs. This month I've ran 31%. So 31% of my sales have gone to paying for alcohol. Roughly just under 20% has gone to labor.
Let's talk about the term bar girl. Is that just a euphemism for prostitute?
I don't like the word prostitute, regardless. I just find it to be more of a derogatory term. But yeah, I mean, some girls, they all say bar girls, but I call them hostesses or bar girls, yeah. But really, again, I have to go back to the fact that as much as whatever takes place outside of the bar, that is completely up to them. But as far as the word prostitute, I'm never been ever since I moved to Thailand, I've never been a fan of that word. I just
yeah, but it doesn't matter if it's being a fan of the word or not. If they're taking money for sex, is that not a prostitute?
I would have to look up the technical definition, but once again, in Pattaya, yeah, I would agree. In Pattaya as a whole, there is lots of monetary exchanges for things that would happen. As far as when it comes to the bar scene, as speaking for me and all bar owners, what happens between two consensual adults, that's up to them. Because I will say this, I've been in Pattaya for, it'll be 2 years in June. Some guys have been 20, 30 years and really seen it all. I feel like I've seen it all already, but I'm sure there's still more to see. But there is a lot of girls just there to meet guys. They're not looking for the exchange. They're looking for more long-term boyfriends. Like, these guys are going home and then going home to Europe, America, wherever they're from, and they are sending money back. But they're at two different sides of the world. So is that prostitution?
Do you sleep with these girls?
Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. And some people, I've got customers that will ask me like, oh, working with ladies, isn't that tempting? And absolutely not. It's not tempting to me at all. I've like I said, I've worked in Domino's Pizza for a while. I was a manager. I had lots of girls working for me, and they always tend to attract to the boss. It's very easy for me, my whole life, to separate work from reality. What's happening. I do have a girlfriend now and a happy relationship. But even if I was a single man, you don't poop on your doorstep.
If I said to you that a lot of the bars in Pattaya are just brothels fronted as bars, what would you say to that?
I disagree. I would
Why?
say come to Pattaya and experience it. I mean, yes, there are some bars out there, you know, and people will ask me, oh, when I'm like on the street and like, oh, I have a bar. Oh, do you have a girl bar? And I would say, no, I call my bar a party bar. Yes, I would say some of them have that front. But some of them, you know, are clubs. It's a nightclub. Some of them are what in America we would call it a strip club, a go-go bar, and that's just, I mean, it's that to me, even going into those is just more of a party atmosphere. My bar for sure, I would say, is more on the party atmosphere. I mean, yes, I have girls to sit with you, enjoy drinks with you, but it's compared to some bars, it's not as like full on. You know, I have a pool table in there as a centerpiece, and like I said, I'd say there are some bars out there, but that would be their front, but I would say well over 50% of them are not, and people go to them just for a good time.
So let's get into the life of a Pattaya bar owner, right?
Yeah.
Are you under pressure to drink every day? People coming in and buying you drinks, because that's a fast way to becoming an alcoholic, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. So you definitely are. And previously, I managed some bars for a little bit of time, a year and a half ago, when Thailand was open but not open, and there was total pressure as a bar manager for me to drink every day, because that was how I got most of my salary, and you had to. That was your job as a manager. And when I quit that, the night I quit managing, which was only after 2 months, I told my parents on the phone, I said, I'll never manage a bar again, but I would own a bar. So owning a bar for me, it's different. Yes, I enjoy drinking, I enjoy partying, having fun, but if I have a hangover, like some people just wake up and just, have another beer to get rid of the hangover. Me, it's like, there's no way I can touch alcohol. So for me, I have good self-control, and I don't need to make my money from getting drinks from customers. When you come to my bar and buy me a drink, I don't even charge, like if you go to a bar and you buy a manager a drink, a guy manager, you're paying the overpriced 150 baht for a drink. If you come to my bar and want to buy me a drink, it's normal priced, whatever the drink is. So lots of times I take nights off from drinking, and I'll tell the guy, if they want to buy me, Pete comes in, hey, can I get you a drink? I'll say, hey, do you mind if I have a Schweppes or a Coke tonight? And they're not going to ever say, I've had no guy who's like, no, you need to have alcohol, you know? They're very happy just to get me a drink so I can sit down, shoot the shit, talk with them. So, but as a bar manager, compared to owner, definitely. As a manager, you need to drink. That's how you make your money.
How about kickbacks? Are there people that come to your bar that you have to pay in order to operate your bar?
I saw your video with Richie, and you asked him. I knew that was gonna come up. So the best way I could answer that is if protection is good. Anybody that comes to Thailand, I would recommend they use sunscreen to protect themselves. Cost a little bit of money, but in the end, you'll never get burned.
Okay, how do you manage the money? Because you hear stories about thievery,
right?
People dipping their hands into the till.
Right.
How do you manage that?
So I have a POS system, point of sales, a restaurant style one. Works great. I can control it from my phone. I have cameras in the bar if I ever wanted to look at the cameras. And literally you would have to be a genius to beat the system, because you have to be putting in the orders, because the bills go sit on the table for the customer. If anything gets voided, canceled, deleted, it automatically creates a report. So at the end of the night, I have reports, everything. At this time, this was canceled. If I have to question it, I can question it. If there's even a discounted price, any little thing like that. So I mean, I believe that's going in the past, and soon that won't be a problem here, because you still have a lot of bars that are writing it by, pen and paper, and they have the cashier sitting there. Well, that's very easy to throw away a bill. But when you have a sophisticated computer system, it almost completely eliminates that problem from you.
Okay, let's talk about politics in Pattaya. What's it like with other bar managers, owners of bars? I'd imagine there's intense competition and jealousy.
There is intense competition, but it's almost like a good competition. Like for me, last month there was a bar directly across the street from me opening up, and that to me was good. And my dad was like a little confused, like, why is that good? Just more bars, more competition. But if we don't have many bars like right in my area, then that doesn't create like a hot spot. They call them hot spots in Pattaya. And if you have just a single bar, people will just walk right past it. But if you have like atmosphere, energy going between all the bars right there, it's good. But yeah, there's definitely drama.
What kind of drama do we have?
One guy says this, one guy doesn't like this, one person has a problem with their next door neighbor, so then maybe somebody calls the police.
Do you have any stories? You don't have to name names, but give us a story.
Okay, I have one story. I will not tell names, but I do know in one bar, two people next door to each other. The one building was leaking water into the other building. They asked them, hey, your building, because there's no separation, it's building. Hey, whenever you're using your shower on the second floor, water is pouring into our bar. Can you fix it? Day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5 goes on. They're just getting flooded. Day 6, the police show up at that bar. So things like that, I don't know if that's the exact reason why, but I have a feeling if that leak was fixed, those police would have never been there. How
do you handle, number one, drunk people, and number two, people that you don't like?
Well, I don't really dislike many people. I can usually find common ground with everybody, and if it is some, and this goes as far as being a bar manager or owner for everybody, it's very easy to, if there's somebody you're not interested in really having a conversation with, give them a friendly greeting, hello, how's it going, cheers, and continue on your way. You don't need to sit with every customer for a long time.
Give us an idea of your rent. Now, you don't have to say the exact figure.
Right.
But give us a ballpark figure what you're paying per month.
Just under 30,000 baht a month. And I'm lucky. Like I said, the soy I'm on is an upcoming soy. I mean, anybody that knows or is looking to go to Pattaya by this time has definitely heard of soy Shayapun, soy pothole. And I know the bars right now that are for sale or buildings for rent on that street have gone up significantly.
So. And say in 6 months' time or a year's time, if you're not making a good income, are you going to pull the plug? Is there an exit plan if things don't go well?
I would give it a lot. I would put a lot of effort in and try a lot of different things before just pulling the plug on it. So far, knock on wood, it's been successful, and we'll see if it can continue that way. But I can tell you right now, bars on that street right now are going for way more money than I put in to make that bar. So like right now, if I wanted to sell out, I could sell out and make profits.
How much you invest in it?
Less than $1 million. That's everything from doing a whole build out, creating a business. This is the first business I've had in Thailand. So there's a lot of first time costs that if I go for bar number 2, bar number 3, those costs are already taken care of. So
now you have a YouTube channel as well.
Yeah.
And what's your YouTube channel about?
Well, it started just me riding my bike around Pattaya when we were like in the height of the global situation, and Pattaya was a ghost town. And so many guys were at home, wanted to see it, so the channel on a fluke just took off. And it's died down because of consistency. I mean, I can't stay consistent. I've had a baby, the bar, I call it, I had twins, taking care of my real baby and the bar. So right now I'm trying to mix up my channel though and still incorporate bike rides, still doing some bar things. I have some ideas of game show type like Pattaya Bar shows, like bar trivia with some customers in the bar, which also some guys, just because the stigma of going to Pattaya are not a fan of being on camera, but I have found people that are willing to. So once I get consistent with it, I think the channel could grow pretty good.
All right, well David, shake my hand. Thanks very much for doing this.
Hey.
You knew coming into this that it was going to be a tough interview.
Yeah.
You knew I was going to ask you some tough questions because I told him, we emailed each other before, and you contacted me and you said, Pete, I want to do an interview with you, and I said straight up, I said, if you do an interview with me, I'm going to ask you some challenging questions about your involvement in the Pattaya bar scene, and you said, I'll take the chance, Pete, and you came down here. So I admire your bravery for that.
Thank
it's not
you.
going to be, it's not an easy thing to do, and I'm sure, well, we'll see what the comments say. Let's leave it to the comment section.
We'll see, but yeah, hey, anybody coming to Pattaya, check out the backyard, and it's promise a good time.
So if you enjoyed that interview, folks, please leave us a comment. I'm very interested to hear what you have to say. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and we've got loads more interviews coming up here in Thairish Times. Thanks very much.